Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. Today I have something special for you guys. As you know, on the channel I do a lot of different kinds of reviews so you can see the different items that are available to you in the camping space. I have 8 years of experience camping, including 3 in a tent and 5 in a van, and so anything that I am checking out is something that I think would be of interest to us in the camping world. So today we're going to be checking out a camping light. Now, what can we use a camping light for though? First and foremost, a camping light can be used for, obviously, light at your campsite. This could allow you to illuminate an area when you're trying to find something, whenever you're needing a little bit of safety and security, or whenever you're going between 2 different vans so you don't trip and fall. This also illuminates the area to potentially scare away critters if you're in an area that might have a few more critters, and more so to kind of allow people to see, hey, I'm camping here and I can see you, which is a big deal. Now, this particular camping light is going to be pretty interesting because this is one that pops up and does a variety of different functions. So I thought, since we've tried out so many different kinds, this one might be one of interest to a lot of people. So why not check it out? So let's do a little bit of an unboxing. Now, in order to get in this box, I just had to find the little tab, and it opens up from the side, and oh, immediately I am already excited about this one. This is going to be great. I've been looking for something that would allow me a way to be able to have a lot more light around camp, and this looks like it's going to be perfect. Now, it has a few interesting features, and it also has its own tripod system. So with this, it should be very easy to assemble, which is part of the reason why I was intrigued by this one. I like to find smart solutions for all of us that don't break the bank, but also that aren't difficult to use. The last thing that we all need as we're trying to get out and recreate, and we're just thinking of safety, security, and also visibility, is something that's going to be difficult to put together, hard to use. And so I always try to gravitate toward easy, simple, click and go solutions, or things that are super simple to assemble, which looks like the case with this one. But we're going to get this out a little bit further and check it out. In addition to the 2 main pieces in the box, we also have a charging cable and then also a camping light book, which is just a couple pages. You can see everything that you need in a tri-fold pamphlet here. It shows you pictures as to how to use it, how to assemble it, how to store it, and it just folds back up. So we will put this into our little manual that I keep in my glove box. As for the assembly, there is a screw in on the bottom and then also one on the tripod. So all we have to do is screw it in like this. I do also notice a couple of other features if we didn't want to use the tripod, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But as you can see, it just screws together like so, and then after it's together, it no longer turns. There are a few places that this can telescope and grow taller. There are also a few additional places where we can tripod this out so it can stand up. So let's see how this works. First and foremost, when it's fully assembled, you can see the height of it. It's about the size of my leg, realistically. So that's not too bad. I can pack and store this in separate pieces, so it takes up less room, however. And whenever I am ready to use it, it has a little push button on the bottom. And as you can see, that pulls out the legs, and then we can just push them down into place, and then it sets down. Now, each one of these has a flip out so that we can flip it out and telescope it up. And so it has a variety of different heights that it can be. It can be just the standard height. It can be this height, it can be this height, or it can be this height. So as you can see, a lot of versatility within this, so you could use it for a lot of things. Now, I'm going to pull it down so I can be at eye level with it, and you don't have to pull it all the way up. You can freeze it kind of in between for your height of desire. And then another thing it does is these pull out. So that's pretty neat. So they pull out, and then I believe that they also twist. They do. So you can have one facing down and these facing up. You can have all of them facing at an angle, or you can have them all facing upwards, which is really nice also. Again, as you can see, it just turns, and whenever it turns, you can see those are the LEDs inside. And so it's just a gentle turn right there. On the bottom, we have our power button, and then also our intensity button, which walks us through a variety of different settings. It also tells us if it is fully charged or not right here. So that's pretty nice. So overall, it's a 1-click to turn on. You can see the battery. And then on the lighting side, you'll notice we have the main lights, the dimmer of the main lights, even dimmer, a flash, and then consistent. And then if you click the power button, You can turn it off. And then you can also go to different temperatures of light, which we'll look at when it gets dark so you can see it. And then there's a flashlight on the top as well. So what this tells me is I could use this in a variety of different ways. I could set this up and have it where I have these pointed upwards toward the trees, or potentially I could have it where it's set up where I could have two of them pointed at my van, or I could have them all pointed down so I don't blind myself. And so I can choose my adventure with how I want the light to work, which is really great when it comes to safety and security. So that's going to be very helpful. And then whenever I get to the end, they just turn back around and then fold back down into itself. So that's really nice, and it clicks into place once you get it to where it's supposed to go. So that's super user friendly, not difficult at all. And again, another reason why I like things that are like this. Now, one of the other things I noticed though, is we can untwist this and use this just as a regular lantern light the same way. So as a lantern light, I could just turn it on and you can see all of the lights turn on. And again, I can go through all of those functions and settings and it changes. There's that warm setting, the bright setting, the flashlight setting, and then off. But while it's in this position, I can also take these out and again, swivel them. It's a little tight when you swivel it at first because it's brand new, but they'll swivel all the way almost completely around, and then you can put it back into place. So you can use this in just about any kind of capacity. It also has this little hook on the bottom, which is pretty snug in there, but you can hang it, and then you could use it for like a tent if you wanted to use it for a tent, which is pretty neat. And then this right here, these I think are magnets, so we're gonna find out. Okay, here's the test. Metal and magnet. Yep, sure enough, those are magnets. So I could use this also as a way for people to know if I'm stranded. I could magnetize it to the side of the van and have a flashing light to have people realize, hey, something's wrong. I could also take this and let's pull it off and pop this one out. Here we go. I could have it where it's magnetized, and then I could also be showing outward from the van. So it looks like this. That's a really nice way to do this also. And then I could have it where these two are pointing downward so I could see what's below. So if I needed to do a tire change in the night, this would be great for that. I could also stick this to the roof of my van and it doesn't fall. I was wondering if it would fall if it's in the upright because it's kind of heavy, but it actually works pretty well up there. So it works as a regular light in the van itself. Yeah, it's been up there like 10 minutes and it hasn't fallen. I did scoot it over just a little bit so that it wasn't kind of on the bend, but by laying it onto the flat surface, no problems whatsoever. Now, whenever I stumbled upon this, I knew it had the telescoping piece to it with the tripod. I did not know that it was going to have the additional hook as well as the magnets. So that adds an extra piece of value to me personally. And so I'm really excited about this, but I'm going to get this out this evening and see how much light that this thing puts off, because I think that this could be a great solution for us. Otherwise, again, I'm going to take this out, I'm going to beat it up, I'm going to use it in a variety of ways, I'm going to store it in weird places, I'm going to see how it holds up, and I'll tell you an update on this very, very soon after I've used it for a while so that you guys can see if it has the value for the money. That's one of the things I like to do here on my channel, is always be super honest with you guys and share things with you so you can get ideas, but then also follow up on them so you can see how they're used later on down the line. I think that it's great to show items so that people can get ideas, but I would never want someone to purchase something until they've seen how it is used. And so I think even though I'm really loving this so far, we're gonna beat it up a little bit. But I'll see you guys this evening after it gets dark and we'll check out how bright it is. Okay, it's getting close to dark, so I thought I'd bring this and see what exactly we can get with it. It's not quite dark yet, so we should be able to get some good things. I have some assistance here from the many cats around my property, so we're gonna see if they like this. It may freak them out a little bit. Okay, so on this, I have one facing down, one facing up, and one just in its regular position. And here we go. It's about to be really bright. Ooh! Ooh, that's really, really bright. Definitely something that could light up the whole space. As you can see, before it was getting to the point where it was that dusky time, hard to see. Now it's very clear. I can see all of what's behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and go through some light settings. There's the slightly lesser light, and then the third setting, and then we're gonna go into our strobes. So again, if you have issues with strobes, just put something over your eyes for a second. Here we go. And woo, strobe 1. and then back to solid. Now, if we want to change the light, it goes from this super bright light to this warm light right here, which is a nice, comfortable temperature of light. It doesn't hurt my eyes as much. It's much more like moody. And then we have the warm again goes to the bright, and then they go to the flashlight up here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and face all of these upwards so we can see what it's like just illuminating above. And here we go. Woo! Even with that, I have a good range of visibility down here that's created by it facing upward. And we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna face them all down. And with this, I think I'm gonna shrink it so I could have a manageable light source around my van that wouldn't then be blinding me. I can also bend these in slightly if they're still a bit too blinding, so that brings it really in more. So if you have it facing outward, like this, it'll go all the way up and it'll really illuminate the entire area. And I can see way over there and way over here. It also, though, is very harsh on the eyes. But when we bring it down like this, it brings that in quite a bit. So this is a very nice bright light, and we'll bring it in to the warm glow. And again, we'll look at what it looks like outward. You can pull these all the way up and it expands that range, but it's in a more tolerable light, which is nice. And then we can also kind of alternate them. If I need something immediately here because I'm cooking, but I also want to illuminate the rest of my camp so I can see, that is great. So overall, again, it's not completely dark yet, but you can see how much of a difference this makes. I'm really excited about taking this out and bringing this out to a campsite. It does look like it collects some bugs. That's going to be the only negative for me, but that's any light for the most part, unless it's an orangey glowing light. So I guess we'll have to try this out a little bit more and just kind of see what else we can expect. It appears that even within the more natural light, you can also dim it. So you can have the full LED, you can have the natural, and you can dim it 3 levels with each of those, and strobe with each of them. So that's pretty cool. We're gonna turn it off, and then again, you can see how dark it is, and then bam! This is nice.